Ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to your daily dose of zombies news from the game and its community here on COD Zombies HQ. Thanks a lot for tuning in today. We are back for round 2 of your daily zombies news update videos. So just hours away from the global release of the new zombies map FireBase Z, let's kick things off with big changes that are coming into the game when it drops. As part of the larger zombies patch coming to Cold War with the release of the new map, Treyarch has finally made some big changes to the core zombies game that players have been asking for since the game's release. The first of these changes has to do with rebalancing some of the weakest weapons in the game that traditionally in zombies games are the strongest: the SMGs and the assault rifles, where Treyarch said this about the upcoming changes. "We heard you really like taking down zombies, so we buffed the critical damage and max ammo stock on every assault rifle and SMG in the game, increased the base damage and range on the Street Sweeper shotgun, which is the striker shotgun that was introduced into the game halfway through Season 1, which, by the way, I never actually got a chance to use it because Treyarch, in their infinite wisdom, made it so that you have to play multiplayer in order to unlock the Street Sweeper shotgun. I don't play multiplayer, I don't get a chance to use it. It sucks. Treyarch needs to make a change here to make sure that zombies players can actually experience content that's for the zombies mode. And they made some changes to the Cryo Freeze ammo mod, reducing its cooldown period to when it activates to make it a little bit more balanced with the other alternate ammo types. Along with that, Treyarch is saying here that they're going to be adding new intel drops and dark ops challenges to the FireBase Z map. So if you're someone that looks forward to completing those more difficult kind of dark ops challenges, there will be new content there for you with the release of FireBase Z. But that's not the only changes they've made to the game, where they fixed some major bugs and issues which have been plaguing the game since it was released. The first one being players for some reason were unable to complete all of the Omega intel inside of the map Die Maschine. Treyarch claims that they have now fixed that. And secondly, an issue which I've experienced a whole bunch, infuriating to experience on Die Maschine, that they said they've addressed an issue: rarely position players outside of the map when teleporting from the dark ether. That's happened to me a bunch of times. It sucks. It happens randomly. Treyarch has now said that that's been fixed, but if you remember back, they've actually said this a couple times beforehand too, that they've fixed issues with players teleporting outside of the map when transporting using the dark ether. This is, I think, like the third time they've brought this up, so either they're just patching new areas and new issues relating to this, or, you know, they're just taking another swing at fixing it. The release of the new map, there's obviously the new supports, Napalm Strike and Artillery. I already knew that, but a change that they are making is in regards to the self-revive. There's an extremely small chance, an under 1% chance it's been calculated, that a self-revive will drop as an item on the ground from zombies, or the amount of actual self-revives you can get was unlimited, but it was just that extremely small percent chance. Now Treyarch is changing it so that firstly, the self-revive will drop only if a player already doesn't have a self-revive, right? And secondly, Treyarch has capped the amount of self-revives that can drop per game based on the amount of total players. So we assume if there's only one player in the game, a self-revive can only drop from a zombie once. They didn't really mention the rates in which the self-revive drops, so if that 1% rate has gone up or down, but I'm assuming it stays the same. They've just limited the amount that can drop for zombies for some reason. I didn't really see this as being a big issue, as they haven't limited the amount of self-revives that you can craft using the crafting station. But hey, an interesting balance change nonetheless that I'm all here for. They did also make a change to the acquisition of armor in the game, where they say that level 1 armor will now replace the first armor shard drop in a game when no players have armor. So sometimes in the early rounds of a zombies game, you'll see those little zombies plates drop, right? And if you don't have armor because you're still in the spawn area, those plates are extremely worthless. So Treyarch is now saying instead of those plates, an armor vest will drop, which will now give you at least level 1 armor that you can make use of instead of those plates that have no use then. Out of all of these balance changes, obviously the buffs made to every single assault rifle and SMG in the zombies mode is the most significant. This is probably the biggest weapon balancing change we've seen to the zombies mode here in Cold War since the nerfs were made to the RayGun all the way back near the launch of the game. So here's hoping that if there's weapons that look to be underpowered in the zombies mode, they continue to buff them. I think the zombies community as a whole is more against nerfs to weapons in the zombies mode, as it is basically a co-op mode after all. But if there are weapons that are obviously underpowered, like a lot of the assault rifles and SMGs are, it's good to see Treyarch go ahead and take a second look at that class of weapons and rebalancing them to make them actually usable and fun in the zombies mode. The map itself of FireBase Z is due to launch in just a few hours time, but remember, Treyarch has said that the main Easter egg, and we assume side Easter eggs, will be locked on the map pretty much for another day. So we get a whole day of playing with the base map, and then the Easter egg content will be unlocked. But remember, if it's anything like Die Maschine, some stuff for the Easter egg may already be accessible in the main map itself. So be sure to stay tuned here on COD Zombies HQ. We will have a video going out tomorrow detailing everything new that's been found. I want to thank you for tuning in for what is essentially the start of the second season here of Cold War Zombies content on this channel. Daily updates from here on out until there isn't anything to talk about anymore, which should hopefully be in around a month time, month and a half. We'll see how it goes. But I want to thank you again for watching, and I'll see you with another Zombies news video tomorrow. Peace.